Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we're taking a look at The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. I might pick up the Two Towers later, but essentially this is a more polished version of that game, except it tells obviously the story of the third movie rather than the second one, with elements of the first one combined in it, because they never did one for the Fellowship, which is strange. Maybe they didn't realise the Fellowship would be such a big thing. Anyway, it's done by EA, who obtained the rights to the movies, not to the books. So they have to develop games based around the trilogy of movies at the time. They have since lost those rights, which makes these somewhat lost media, unless you can find a second-hand copy, or you can obtain it via other means, obviously on the internets, which... You know, if you're not going to sell the games anymore, I don't really have a problem with you doing that, to be fair. I do have the game. You're seeing the PlayStation 2 version is what we're playing today. And it is a good game. I have my issues with it, and it's definitely an improvement over the Two Towers. I was going to do the Two Towers, and I was just like, oh, no. Basically, both games have kind of the same flaw. And that's just lack of feedback from the characters for me. It was actually... When it first came out, a lot of the reviews were like championing this. Oh, it's so impactful, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, it just feels like I'm waving a feather around and people are falling down or not falling down depending on when the feather makes contact. There's very little outside of like combos and special moves that makes you feel, oh yeah, it got a good hit in there sort of thing. You do have 3 different attack buttons. And so you have your regular attack, I think it's... Well, it's a heavy attack, and then physical attack, which is obviously kicks and stuff like that. You can hold down left 1. This will allow you to go into range mode. All the characters have a ranged attack, whether it be bow, throw axes, stuff like that. Or if you're Gandalf, you can shoot your staff off, which is nice. You will unlock combos. Some of these combos will be instant kill combos, which are very much welcomed, certainly as the game progresses. So, for instance, the first one you'll get will be for orcs. You'll block the orc, and then you'll just hit right to... Oh, steady on. Pardon me. You'll hit right to after you've blocked him, and then you'll immediately kill him, which is nice. And once you've used those moves, it sets you into perfect mode. Now, perfect mode just means that all the kills you get will be considered perfect, and you will get enhanced score for the different types of kills you make. And that will give you experience for which you can buy upgrades. One of the interesting things this has done over the last one is it allows you to buy upgrades for the entire Fellowship that are able to use them. So instead of just buying a combo for Aragorn, you could buy it for the entire Fellowship. And then any characters you play that have access to that ability and are the right level for that ability can then use it, which is nice. I would have preferred... There are basically 3 paths in the games, but as you go through, you can only complete the level once with any one character, so you can't grind, which is a pain in the ass for me. Because there are some parts of the game where there are difficulty spikes. I find like levels where you have to protect shit. I mean, when I first got this, I can't remember when, it must have been fairly quick after release, because I got these both for Christmases. So I got this and the Two Towers for Christmas. This came out in 2003, November, so I imagine I probably got it that year. Yes, I know, I'm old. We've discussed this. But I distinctly remember there was a Gandalf level, and I was having massive problems protecting something in it. I can't remember which one it was. I think it's the later one. But yeah, that was a controller going across the room kind of moment for me. It was not fun. I mean, who likes protecting shit anyway? They should get that nonsense out of games. It's the same as escort missions. If you're not good enough to stand up for yourself, what do I care? Survival of the fittest, yeah, bastards. It did review pretty dang well when it came out, getting between, I think, 7s and 9s. So that was good. I mean, it also came out on a fair few more systems. The previous game, the Two Towers, only came out on the consoles of the time, so I think it was GameCube, PlayStation 2 and Xbox. Whereas this also came out on the GBA and Microsoft Windows. I have never seen it on Microsoft Windows. You'll have to go and buy a physical copy, obviously, because of the rights issue, which is... It's annoying, isn't it? Let's be honest. Because they did make some cracking games out of that license agreement, and this is a good game, outside of the kind of floaty combat, which I have a problem with. But, I mean, they also made Battle for Middle-earth, those two games, and those are great. They're really good RTSs, and now you have to go and track down physical copies because they don't hold the rights to it anymore. What were they thinking? It's very annoying. I mean, it's not even Tolkien Estate, is it? It would be New Line, I guess, who are the studio behind the films, because they license the movies rather than the books. But yeah, we've come across this before. I believe I did a Battle for Middle-earth review some time ago. Managed to get it running off a disc, which was yay, because it was obviously a PC game where it was an RTS. And not too many made it onto consoles for obvious reasons. A few did. And a few did work well on the console, in fairness. But it was always a mouse and keyboard type of game, to be fair. One of the other things they did add into the game were sort of interactive scenery, so you could pick up spears to chuck at bad guys, stuff to knock over, cauldrons that you could overturn and kill bad guys with. So there is more support for it. They also introduced a co-op mode, which, being me, I've not tried, but it's just going through the campaign with someone else. And I believe in North America you had online with it as well, at least on the PS2. So there is some interesting stories about it, and the game developers are very adamant that they were very involved. They went across to New Zealand multiple times. They do have quite a lot of the cast returning, although there are a few notable exceptions. And use props and design, photography, stuff like that to help fill in the game. Peter Jackson has a slightly different view of it, in that he said that basically any suggestions he or the filmmakers made were roundly ignored, and he wouldn't be going back to EA to do his next movie-based game, which was King Kong. He went to Ubisoft to do that one, primarily because he enjoyed Good and Evil, Beyond Good and Evil, is that it? I'm looking. Looking. Yeah, Beyond Good and Evil, and wanted to work with Michael Ansel, who was at Ubisoft. So, and King Kong was a good game. I also got that for a Christmas. I believe that was the Christmas I was at the flat, and had to spend my my Christmas playing games by myself, because Dad had a new girlfriend, wanted to spend it with her, and I wasn't too keen on spending it with all of them, and her mum, it was like, I'll just stay. So he bought presents around and then disappeared, but unfortunately my TV had packed up, so he bought me around a colour portable TV, and I had to play all my games on a tiny screen until I think it was near my birthday, which is in January, and I bought myself my first widescreen TV, because fuck it, if you're gonna do it, do it. It was a CRT widescreen, which wasn't pleasant to carry up the stairs to my fucking flat. Put it that way. But yeah, big improvement when I got that. So, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King is a really well done game. It's got most of the voice cast. The actors for Aragorn and Legolas and Eowyn did not reprise their roles. Most of the others did, including like Ian McKellen, Christopher Lee. People that you would expect to be hard gets, so I don't know why, I can't remember the guy's name, but Viggo Mortensen. Jesus Christ, those name things. Viggo Mortensen or Whatever. Legolas's actor wouldn't return. I should know it. I quite like GT, the Gran Turismo movie. So I should really know that. But I don't, so fuck it. Who cares? So it seems strange that they wouldn't return when you could get like Christopher fucking Lee and Ian McKellen. Yeah. Even most of the Hobbits return, and I don't know what Miranda Otto was doing, and because she had tits, I can remember her name apparently. That's strange. Oh. But so there you are. It does do a really good job of it. Well, I say a really good job. There are a lot of scenes from the movie in it, which I've obviously had to cut out of this review because we don't need that getting me copyright struck, because that would be a thing. I've also had to change the music, not change the music, but take the music down to virtually inaudible levels because it's featuring the Howard Shore score as well. So all things that will eminently get restrictions and flags and all sorts of nasty things that I want to avoid, so they're gone. They're also unskippable the first time you play through them, so you literally have to sit and watch 3-4 minute chunks of the movie before getting into the next level or level selection, which is a bit annoying. They do a good job in marrying them to the gameplay, like the movie will suddenly become a cutscene from using the game engine, and they've lined that up pretty well. That's quite effective, so I quite like that. The 3 paths you can take are the Wizard, the King, and I can't remember the other one's name. It's the Hobbit one. So we'll call it the Hobbit one. The Wizard is obviously you're going through a Gandalf. You're going through fairly similar. You're going through sort of a side selection of scenes, so you help the Ents break open the dam, stuff like that. And you kind of meet back up at Minas Tirith, and move on to the Black Gate. And the King Path is Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. You move through the Paths of the Dead, the Pelennor Fields, and you meet up, at Minas Tirith. And both Gandalf and the King Path all terminate in the same level. The Hobbits, though, have slightly different gear. And although they're much more combat focused than you would expect based on the movies, because it's kind of what the game's about, they do have a bit more stuff going on in terms of stealth. And there are certain missions where you're going through, like Osgiliath, got it right that time, and the Fell Beasts and their riders, the names, I'm too old. Ring Race, that will do for now. I know there's a proper name for them, but we'll go with Ring Race. Are looking for the ring, and Frodo has a little dial come up in the top right, and if it fills up, they just grab him and go off with him, and you're like, and Sam's like, Frodo, no! And you have to retry from checkpoints. There are checkpoints in the levels. They are very widely spaced and marginally useful, because obviously you have to go back to the start of the level, which would be horrendous. But you can at least carry on from a little way in. So yeah. The save points themselves are at the end of levels, though, so bear that in mind. You will have to repeat yourself a few bits and pieces here and there. And they have a different level where Frodo fights Gollum, obviously in Mount Doom, over the ring, and it ends like the movie. Because the developers have come out and, they were very specific in their objectives of this game, not to remake the films in video game form, but to allow you to experience parts of the movies. Because, why wouldn't you do that? I mean, the movies were ridiculously successful, as they should have been, because they're very, very good. And the action was well done as well. So why wouldn't you want to get stuck in at the Black Gate after Aragorn gives his big old speech about how it takes the heart from him, but not today? Sorry, I was banging myself on the chest, probably shouldn't do that. Who didn't want to do that? So yeah, having the opportunity to do so is great. So all for it. there are, I mean, it's really more of a film in the second game. I mean, the third is much more inclusive of just the third movie. There are little bits from the end, like the Battle of the Hornburg is in the start of the game, sort of as your tutorial. So you turn up as Gandalf, you do the whole ride over Rohirrim into the lines, and then you're on your feet, sort of close to Helm's Deep. Jesus Christ. And you know, you fight some orcs, so you work out how all that shit works. Use some catapults to blow up some of the orcs attacking the gate, and then you use another catapult and it sets off a bunch of mines or whatever they are, the bombs. Wow, I need some sleep. Sorry, this is the day after New Year's Eve, so I'm a little bit the worse for wear. The big orky guys that aren't orcs. Uruk-hai. Hey, we get there in the end. That's what I says to my wife all the time. So, you know, it does a good job of that. The second one, where there was no game dedicated to the first movie, has some more of the first movie in it. So it's less about the Two Towers, but more about sort of a both kind of deal. Which is interesting, because I was able to find a game called The Fellowship of the Ring, but it's obviously not from EA, nothing like this, and is a recreation of the book rather than the movie. So, yeah. No Legolas actor that I can't remember the name of to be found. Anyway, guys, that's it for this week. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.